Chapter 11 Ye Feng who doesn't hashtag 039, follow the routine. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 11, Ye Feng, Mr. Unpredictable. 2 plot twists, and I got 3 attribute points. That Ye Feng was blown away, entering Notting College and shaking up a tiny story arc earned him 1 attribute point to spend. Now, getting the upper hand with the Qixia boss has landed him another 3, Ye Feng knew how valuable these points were. Call me whatever you want. Ye Feng, Boss Yi, just boss is fine, Ye Feng said casually. Then, can I just call you Ye Feng? Xiao Wu's eyes darted around. How could she, the Titan giant ape and sky blue bolt python's little sister, call someone boss? The other beasts would never let her live it down. Sure. Just remember I'm the boss of Qixia, Ye Feng replied with a grin. Hey, what was that move you used back there? Xiao Wu asked, super curious. I don't have a soul ring yet, so no soul skills. What you saw was just a fighting technique, Ye Feng said. Fighting technique? Xiao Wu was even more intrigued. Yeah, it's called back alley brawling. The kind of thing any street punk knows, Ye Feng said. Totally back alley. Xiao Wu agreed. Remembering how Ye Feng took her down and pinned her, her face flushed. Tang San shot Ye Feng a look. He sensed Ye Feng was holding something back. They both grew up in Holy Soul Village, barely ever leaving, just messing around with the local kids. How could he fight like that? Tang San didn't know Ye Feng had a whole other lifetime of experience under his belt. Turning to Xiao Wu, Tang San asked, what about you? What was your technique? I was using soft skills, Xiao Wu said. Soft skills? Tang San repeated, puzzled. Using the body's flexibility and resilience, Xiao Wu explained simply. Tang San was deep in thought again. He figured if he ever fought Xiao Wu, he could get the drop on her with a faster reaction and beat her before she even got close, just like Ye Feng did. Hey, what's your soul power level? You seemed really strong back there, Xiao Wu asked Ye Feng. Level 20, Ye Feng said, pausing before just repeating the number on his spirit hall certificate. What? Level 20. Xiao Wu stared, speechless. How old are you? She asked. 6, Ye Feng replied. 6 years old. Xiao Wu was stunned. After a moment, she continued, so you're saying you don't have a soul ring yet, but you're already level 20? Yep, born with full soul power, level 10. Ye Feng said. Innate full soul power, level 10. Xiao Wu was floored, giving Ye Feng another look. This kid had higher soul power than her when she transformed at 10 years old. Who's Tang San? Just then, a teacher with light green hair walked into Qixia, carrying a quilt. That's me. I'm Teacher Mo. The master gave you this quilt. Thank you, Teacher Mo. Tang San, Ye Feng, and Xiao Wu are first-year work-study students. They'll take care of the garden south of the playground. 10 copper spirit coins a day. Any delays, and they'll be kicked out. Tomorrow's the opening ceremony, classes and work start the day after. I'll be checking in, so ask Wang Sheng if anything's unclear. Teacher Mo turned and left. Xiao Wu looked around at everyone else's beds, then at her own, and finally at the quilt in Tang San's arms. Xiao Wu, you can have mine. Yeah, you can use mine, Xiao Wu. I hung it out to dry this morning. Wang Sheng and the other work-study students rarely saw a little cutie like her, so they were all trying to be helpful. Xiao Wu glanced at Wang Sheng's dirty quilts, then at Tang San's. Tang San blinked, instinctively clutching the quilt. Hey, I still don't know your name, by the way. Xiao Wu said. I'm Tang San, Tang San replied. Tang San, can I ask you something? Xiao Wu smiled shyly. What is it? Tang San frowned, looking at Xiao Wu suspiciously. See, your quilt is so big, it should be enough for 2 people. Maybe we could push our beds together and share. What do you think? Xiao Wu asked, blushing. What? Tang San looked shocked and declined, that's not a good idea. You're a girl, I'm a boy. Boys and girls shouldn't be too close. He's right. Ye Feng cut in before Xiao Wu could answer. Tang San's right, boys and girls shouldn't be too close. Even if we're all still young and haven't, if word got out, it wouldn't be good for your reputation. But, I forgot to bring my bedding. Xiao Wu lowered her head, looking sad as she thought about her mom. I've got you covered. Ye Feng touched the bracelet on his wrist, flicked his finger, and pulled out a white set of bedding. The quilt was pink with delicate embroidery. It felt soft and high quality, like silk. Xiao Wu took the quilt and smiled. Then she paused, composed herself, looked at Ye Feng, and asked worriedly, what about you? Don't worry, I've got one too. Ye Feng touched his bracelet again and produced another quilt as if by magic. Seeing Tang San's surprise, he explained, Tang San and I didn't bring any, either. We bought 2 sets at the hotel. We were just going to give Tang San the extra, but since you forgot yours. Thank you, Ye Feng, Xiao Wu said gratefully. No problem, Ye Feng said with a smile. Ye Feng looked at Tang San, then at Xiao Wu. He never understood those fanfics. Why would he want to share a bed with Xiao Wu? Sleeping alone, undisturbed. That sounded way better. Ding! Congratulations, you altered the Douluo story arc. Prevented Xiao Wu from sharing a bed with Tang San and gifted Xiao Wu a quilt. Reward, 100 attribute points. When Xiao Wu and Ye Feng spread out their quilts, Xiao Wu's face turned red again. She noticed that on both her and Ye Feng's quilts, besides the matching embroidery, were the words, from first meeting until old age. Xiao Wu and Ye Feng clearly had matching couple quilts. Chapter 12 Xiao Wu, Crazy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 12 Xiao Wu, Going Ballistic. 100 points. Ye Feng was floored. Changing the bed-making storyline actually earned him 100 attribute points. That's over 30 times what he got for messing with Xiao Wu's boss act before. Where should he put these points? Strength? Agility? Spirit? Defense? After Ye Feng, Xiao Wu, and Tang San met Wang Sheng, the older guy figured they were just work-study students who hadn't gotten paid yet, probably short on cash. So, he generously offered to treat them to dinner. Nodding College's cafeteria was huge, big enough for all the students and teachers to eat there at once. The second you walked in, you got hit with an amazing, mouth-watering smell. Whoa, this place is huge. Xiao Wu was looking all over the place, like she'd never seen anything like it. She was definitely drawing attention. Sure enough, Ye Feng and Xiao Wu hadn't been in the cafeteria for 20 seconds before some jerk yelled from the second floor. Look who it is, Wang Sheng and his broke buddies. Being poor must suck. Bet they can't even afford to eat up here. Ye Feng and Xiao Wu looked up and saw 3 guys, probably 11 or 12, leaning over the railing on the second floor, making fun of Wang Sheng and his friends. Xiao Wu got ticked off. Why are you so rude? Just insulting people. What's so special about the second floor anyway? Hey, check out the cute little loli. Too bad she's just a work-study. I'd totally be into messing around with her otherwise. The senior student upstairs kept mocking Xiao Wu, all stuck up. Xiao Wu, you can order food individually on the second floor. It's like a restaurant, so it's really expensive. We're work-study, so we can't afford it, Wang Sheng explained quietly, then added, Xiao Wu, boss, Tang San, let's just get the lunch boxes. That's Xiao Qinyu, the school's big shot. Just ignore him. Ha, easy to say. Wang Sheng spoke softly, but Xiao Qinyu still heard him. He smirked, seeing Wang Sheng's cowardice. It wasn't fun bullying him anymore, so he turned and said, Wang Sheng, I'll let you off the hook this time. Gotta go eat. Damn it. That's just bullying. Xiao Wu got mad, clenching her fists, ready to run upstairs and teach Xiao Qinyu a lesson. She took one step before someone grabbed her hand. Tang San. Xiao Wu frowned, looking suspiciously at him. We're here to eat, let's not start anything, Tang San said, trying to calm her down. Tang San, you're such a chicken, Xiao Wu complained, disliking him even more. Xiao Wu, you're misunderstanding. We're new here, so we shouldn't cause trouble. But if someone comes at us, we can hit back hard, Tang San said, getting worked up. Tang San, isn't that what's happening now? They're practically spitting on us. Xiao Wu put her hands on her hips, glaring at Ye Feng. Ye Feng, you're the boss of Qixia. Say something. Teacher, just then, Tang San saw a middle-aged man walking in. It was his teacher, Ye Xiaojiang. He rushed over to talk to him after Tang San finished talking and came back. Wang Xing couldn't help saying, "You're studying with master." Tang San nodded. Wang Xing looked weird and warned him gently, "No way. He's not very strong. They say he's just a guest lecturer because he's friends with the dean. Basically, he's a freeloader. I heard master is 50 years old now and still hasn't broken through to Great Soul Master. His soul power is only level 29. I doubt he'll ever get any further." Tang San's eyes narrowed, and he said seriously, "This is the first and last time. If you don't want trouble with me, don't judge my teacher. I'd rather you didn't. Thanks for the concern, though." He turned around and walked out of the cafeteria to eat the food he'd brought, leaving Wang Xing speechless. What did I do? I wasn't laughing at him, I was just telling him not to waste his time on master. Wang Xing was lost. His ego is out of control, Ye Feng said. Ye Feng, being a time traveler, knew Tang San's story. He was a perfectionist who couldn't stand any flaws or regrets. That's why, when his past as a thief was revealed, he impulsively jumped off a cliff to prove himself. He knew what was right, but he couldn't handle the stain on his reputation. His ego was borderline insane. No, that's just crazy. Xiao Wu pouted, disliking Tang San even more. Ye Feng glanced at her. When someone's ego gets that bad, crazy is the perfect word for it. In the original story, Tang San's ego and perfectionism led him to refuse to acknowledge his family. He even schemed to get Xiao Wu's 10-year spirit ring just to meet the conditions set by the Haotian school's elder so he could rejoin his clan. Ye Feng, you haven't said anything. Should we teach that jerk a lesson? Xiao Wu asked again. Let's eat on the second floor, Ye Feng replied. Boss, the second floor is where you order food separately. One dish costs our wages for days, Wang Xing said quietly, embarrassed. He couldn't afford to eat up there. I'm treating, Ye Feng said. You are? Wang Xing looked at him doubtfully. Yeah. Wang Xing, go get the rest of Qixia to come here. Ye Feng nodded and started up the stairs to the second floor. Boss, you're not really going to treat that many people, are you? Wang Xing looked at Ye Feng's back in surprise. When he saw Ye Feng didn't respond, he just stood there, stunned. Xiao Wu, always energetic like a rabbit, loved this kind of thing. She gently patted Wang Xing's shoulder and urged, hurry up. Wang Xing nodded and started looking for the other work-study students from Qixia in the cafeteria. Xiao Wu smirked and skipped up the stairs. When she got to the second floor, Ye Feng was already sitting at a table, staring at Xiao Qinyu and his friends. Ye Feng's sharp eyes calmly locked onto Xiao Qinyu. P.S. This new book can't succeed without everyone's support. The whole book is free and can be read on QQ Reading and QQ Browser. Starting today, there will be at least 2 updates a day, sometimes more. Let's be straight, please vote for recommendations. #NervousFace #. End of this chapter. Chapter 13 is here. Part 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A few minutes later, Wang Xing led all the work-study students over to Ye Feng, except for Tang San. Xiao Qinyu, his eyes narrowed, demanded, Wang Xing, what's the deal? Didn't you say we could never afford to eat on the second floor? Well, here we are. What's the big deal? Ye Feng retorted. Ha! Pigs are flying. Now the work-study students can suddenly afford this place, Xiao Qinyu scoffed, and his two buddies joined in the laughter. He then called out, "Waiter!" A waiter hurried over to Xiao Qinyu, ready to take his order. "Bring me your signature dish, the crispy spicy chicken," Xiao Qinyu said with a smug grin. One order of crispy spicy chicken costs 10 silver soul coins. Wang Sheng and the other work-study students barely make 10 copper soul coins a day cleaning. Xiao Qinyu was dying to see how Ye Feng would handle that. "Waiter, we'll take a crispy spicy chicken for each table," Ye Feng said. Huh? The waiter looked at Ye Feng, surprised. Ye Feng, Xiao Wu, Wang Sheng, and the rest of the work-study students, 9 people in all, were sitting at 3 tables. A crispy spicy chicken per table meant 30 silver soul coins. "Hey! You trying to start something?" Xiao Qinyu chuckled, a mocking smirk playing on his lips. He'd been itching for a chance to flex. Since Ye Feng was handing him one on a silver platter, how could he resist? He raised his hand and continued, "Waiter, and bring us a steamed 8 treasure pig." The steamed 8 treasure pig, another signature dish at the Notting College cafeteria, and a steep 15 silver soul coins. "Make that a steamed 8 treasure pig for each table," Ye Feng countered without missing a beat. "Dude," Wang Sheng lowered his voice, trying to warn Ye Feng. "No need to throw money away like that. A steamed 8 treasure pig is 15 silver soul coins." Xiao Qinyu grinned, exactly what he wanted. Without hesitation, he pressed on, and a clear shredded duck. "Another clear shredded duck," Ye Feng echoed immediately. "Braised conch," Xiao Qinyu grinned. "Another braised conch," Ye Feng repeated. "Winter melon cup. Winter melon cup. Nanhu vinegar fish. Nanhu vinegar fish. Spicy prawns. Spicy prawns." Whatever Xiao Qinyu ordered, Ye Feng matched him dish for dish. They were in a full-blown food fight. The scene drew the attention of the other teachers and students dining on the second floor. Everyone was watching the drama unfold. Most of them looked at Ye Feng and the other work-study students with a sense of morbid curiosity, wondering how it would all end. "Bro," one of Xiao Qinyu's cronies couldn't help but snicker, "he's gotta be an idiot. That's gotta be at least 10 gold soul coins worth of food." Not just Xiao Qinyu's lackey, but even Wang Sheng and the others were standing there dumbfounded, staring at their boss Ye Feng in confusion. Seeing that Xiao Qinyu wasn't ordering anything else, Xiao Wu, who didn't really get the concept of money and wasn't concerned whether Ye Feng could really afford it, taunted, "Why aren't you ordering? Keep going." But seriously, Ye Feng ordered 3 tables worth of dishes, all the same as yours, while you only ordered enough for 1. Now who's the cheapskate? "Humph, you little brat, you've got no idea who you're messing with. You want a competition? My family's one of the richest in Notting City. Let's see you try to keep up with this." Xiao Qinyu was getting angry now. "Waiter, bring me a 30-year roasted whole tiger." Roasted whole tiger didn't come cheap. This wasn't just any tiger, it was a tiger-type soul beast that had lived for 30 years. Among Notting City's elite, this was the height of luxury, costing 50 gold soul coins per order. This was Xiao Qinyu's limit, pushing his accumulated allowance to the breaking point. "Waiter, serve a whole roasted tiger to each table," Ye Feng ordered without a flicker of hesitation. Xiao Qinyu was speechless, Wang Sheng and the others were stunned. Ha ha ha. A few onlookers couldn't help but chuckle. Even some of the teachers present couldn't afford this dish. Yet, Ye Feng, a work-study student, dared to order it. Was he biting off more than he could chew? The onlookers were already anticipating Ye Feng's downfall. "Waiter, go ahead and bring it. I want to see how they're gonna pay for this." This was exactly what Xiao Qinyu wanted. He was confident that Ye Feng and his crew wouldn't be able to cover the bill, and he couldn't wait to see the fallout. Okay, let's get it coming then. Ye Feng said casually. The waiter paused, snapped out of it, and his face darkened. He glared at Ye Feng angrily. Whose kid are you, trying to pull my leg? You know that order you just put in is at least 160 gold soul coins. How much money do you have? What do you want here? It's just 160 gold soul coins, no big deal, Ye Feng said, flicking his fingers and producing a black card from a storage soul guide bracelet. Storage soul guide. A black card. Who is he? How does he have a storage soul guide and a black card? That the teachers and students were staring at Ye Feng in amazement. Even more than the storage soul guide, worth dozens of gold soul coins at the very least, they were shocked by the black card. A black card was a status symbol. Most holders are politicians, millionaires and celebrities from various countries. The black card is not only a symbol of wealth, but also a symbol of glory. Most of the nobles in Notting City aren't even eligible for a black card. Xiao Qinyu was at a loss for words. As a pampered rich kid, Xiao Qinyu obviously knew what the black card meant. His eyes glazed over, and he was completely speechless. Fake. Xiao Qinyu refused to believe that Ye Feng could be qualified for a black card. After a moment of shock, he scoffed, how could a work-study student have a black card? It's gotta be fake. If it's not fake, then he found it. Or stole it. Humph. Xiao Qinyu had already decided that Ye Feng's black card was fake, or obtained by illegitimate means. Whatever the case, Xiao Qinyu was confident and had already figured out his next move. If Ye Feng's black card was fake and completely useless, Ye Feng would humiliate himself. If Ye Feng's black card was real, then he would report it to the authorities, and Ye Feng would be thrown in jail. Chapter 14 Robbery. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 14, Robbery. The cafeteria waiter took the black card and disappeared for a bit. When he came back, a middle-aged man was right behind him. The middle-aged guy, who looked like he was in charge of the whole place, was holding the black card with both hands like it was gold. He handed it to Ye Feng, all smiles, and said, "Here you go, sir." "Sir," that Xiao Qinyu's jaw dropped. He stared at the cafeteria manager like he'd grown another head. And it wasn't just him. Every teacher and student in the place was giving Ye Feng the side eye. No way. That black card was real. Where'd he get his hands on that? I heard that kids from big shot families sometimes come slumming to learn about the real world. Maybe he's one of those types. That everyone around Ye Feng was buzzing about him. Some were trying to explain the unbelievable by saying Ye Feng was just slumming it. Thanks to that black card, Ye Feng was now the center of attention. Xiao Wu, being a soul beast, couldn't care less about black cards or white cards. Hands on her hips, she yelled at Xiao Qinyu, "Well, are you convinced yet?" "Let's bounce," Xiao Qinyu said, waving a hand. He wasn't about to stick around. He grabbed his two buddies and hauled tail out of there. Totally defeated, Ye Feng finished his meal and was strolling down a quiet path when Xiao Qinyu and his goons suddenly jumped out. Guess he's got more money than sense, Ye Feng thought. Wang Sheng, the work-study student who'd been pushed around by Xiao Qinyu for ages, suddenly found some backbone. He sneered, "Xiao Qinyu, what's your deal? You already know our boss has deeper pockets than you. You lost, get over it." "Boss? He's your boss?" Xiao Qinyu asked, shocked. "That's right. He's the head honcho of our Chisha," Wang Sheng replied, puffing out his chest. "Wang Sheng, you're losing it. You made a freshman your boss." "I did my homework, and he's not from any big family. He's just some kid from Saint Soul Village." Xiao Qinyu turned his gaze to Ye Feng and said in a low voice, "Hey, hand over that black card you found before things get messy." "Is this a robbery?" Ye Feng asked, pretending to be surprised. "Call it what you want. Just give me the card," Xiao Qinyu snapped. "Come and get it," Ye Feng said with a calm smile. "Lu Feng, you're up," Xiao Qinyu ordered. Lu Feng stepped forward and swung a stick made of pure soul power. He swung it right at Ye Feng. Ye Feng reached out and grabbed the stick. A smug grin spread across Lu Feng's face. The stick vanished, and his martial soul materialized again as he prepared to keep attacking Ye Feng. But Ye Feng just kicked him in the gut. Lu Feng went flying and landed on the ground, not moving a muscle. Huh, Xiao Qinyu's face turned sour. He looked at Ye Feng in disbelief. He didn't expect the kid to be so tough. Name, Ye Feng, Soul Power, Level 30, Wuhuan, Xianyuan Sword, Jiuxin Xiantang, Eye of Hell, Soul Ring, none, Soul Skills, none, Human Sword Unity Comprehension Period, Bonus Strength, 54, Bonus Agility, 40, Bonus Spirit, 10, Extra Defense, 10, Assignable Attribute Points, 0 points. After tweaking the timeline, Ye Feng's attribute points maxed out at 114. He prioritized strength and agility. Now, his speed rivaled agility-based War Soul Masters. And his strength was off the charts, giving him enough power to take on a strong Soul Master. Ling Feng, go, Xiao Qinyu waved, and another upperclassman stepped forward. Ling Feng was clearly a speed-type Soul Master. He was fast. He leaped forward, and as he landed, he threw a punch at Ye Feng. Boss, watch out! Wang Xing shouted. Wang Xing knew how dangerous Ling Feng was. As a speed-type Soul Master, he'd been on the receiving end of Ling Feng's attacks way too many times. Ye Feng slapped the punch away. Then, he kicked Ling Feng in the stomach and pulled his hand back. Ling Feng went flying, landing on the ground next to Lu Feng, out cold. Whoa! Wang Xing exclaimed. Wang Xing couldn't believe how strong Ye Feng was. Ye Feng's actions gave the bullied work-study students a surge of anger. Wang Xing taunted, Xiao Qinyu, what's wrong? You giving up? Our boss Ye Feng didn't even use his soul power and he kicked both of your butts. You should just cut your losses before you get hurt. Xiao Qinyu frowned. He stepped forward, and a white soul ring appeared around his foot. Red soul power formed an illusory wolf shadow behind him. Xiao Qinyu, 6th-year student, Martial Soul Wolf. Level 11, One-Ring Battle Soul Master. Bring it, Ye Feng replied. Aren't you going to use your martial soul? Xiao Qinyu asked. I don't need it to take you down, Ye Feng said confidently. Damn it, you're underestimating me, Xiao Qinyu roared, clenching his fists. As a 6th-year student with a soul ring, he was used to bullying the weak. But Ye Feng wasn't even bothering with his martial soul. Go get him, boss. Teach him a lesson. Yeah, boss. Kick his butt and get that black card. Xiao Qinyu's crew was egging him on. Xiao Qinyu was furious. He knew Ye Feng was just a poor kid from Xinghun village. He ditched all his hesitation and charged at Ye Feng. His first soul ring glowed white as he swiped at Xiao Qian with wolf claws. Here's my chance. Ye Feng didn't dodge. He threw his fists up and met Xiao Qinyu head-on. Haha, he's going to get wrecked going head-to-head with the boss. Xiao Qinyu's goons started laughing. The fists and claws collided. The claws left a shallow scratch on the back of Ye Feng's hand, but that was it. On the other hand, Xiao Qinyu got hammered. Ye Feng's punch sent him sliding across the ground, leaving a long mark. Xiao Qinyu spat out blood, wiped his mouth, and stared at Ye Feng, his eyes wide with fear. He actually lost. You win. Let's get out of here. Xiao Qinyu shouted. Xiao Qinyu turned to leave, glaring at Ye Feng. He was clearly still planning on getting his hands on that black card. He took a step, ready to leave. But a black shadow flashed in front of him, and Ye Feng blocked his path. Xiao Qinyu asked, terrified, what do you want? End of this chapter. Chapter 15 Xiao Wu, do you want more? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 15, Xiao Wu, want some more? What do you think? Ye Feng countered. I don't know, Xiao Qinyu stammered, clearly hesitant. If I lost today, my black card would be yours. Now you lose, and you think you can just walk away. That's not how things work. Ye Feng scoffed. What do you want? Xiao Qinyu demanded. Simple. You want to leave? Fine. Hand over 500 gold soul coins. What? 500 gold soul coins. You're robbing me. Xiao Qinyu yelled, finally losing it. Even as a spoiled rich kid, he'd never had more than 100 gold soul coins at a time. And now Ye Feng was asking for 500. A minute ago, that was your plan, wasn't it? Ye Feng said flatly, his eyes sharp. The words hit hard. Ouch! Xiao Qinyu flinched, speechless. He had been trying to rob Ye Feng just a minute earlier. He wanted that black card for himself. I don't have that kind of money, Xiao Qinyu mumbled, avoiding Ye Feng's gaze. That's easy enough. Just write an IOU explaining why you owe the money, Ye Feng said, a smile playing on his lips. At Ye Feng's insistence, Xiao Qinyu wrote an IOU. But the money wasn't owed to Ye Feng, it was owed to Xiao Wu. And to avoid any confusion, Ye Feng made Xiao Qinyu write down the reason for the debt, his attempt to steal Ye Feng's black card. Can I go now? Xiao Qinyu asked, his hands clasped tightly behind his back. He wasn't about to let this go if he could help it. Yep, Ye Feng nodded, still smiling. Let's go. Hold on, just as Xiao Qinyu was about to lead his crew out, Ye Feng stopped them again. Now what? Xiao Qinyu asked suspiciously. You can go, Ye Feng replied with a smile, but I didn't say anything about them. What? We don't owe any IOUs, do we? We didn't do anything. Just, offered some support, showed a little respect. Hearing this, the 6 older students behind Xiao Qinyu looked shocked and started muttering amongst themselves. Okay, you're right. You were just cheering him on. How about this, everyone except the 2 who are already out of it owes me 50 gold soul coins. Those 2, since they're unconscious, owe 100. Wang Sheng, go splash some water on them and wake them up. Ye Feng said, echoing their words, and then told Wang Sheng what to do. 50 gold soul coins. One of the older students protested bitterly. I'm being generous here, Ye Feng said, smiling like a con man. I'm giving you a 50% discount compared to what your boss owes. If Ye Feng had lost, Xiao Qinyu wouldn't have been the only one to benefit. These guys would have gotten a piece of the action, too. What goes around comes around. These older students, who were used to bullying others, never imagined they'd be on the receiving end one day. I'd rather you just beat me up, one of them said, refusing to give in. Are you sure about that? Ye Feng grinned. Don't say I didn't warn you. Once I start, it won't be 50 gold soul coins anymore. It'll be 100. You. The student was furious, but he was at a loss for words. In the end, thanks to Ye Feng's generosity, Xiao Qinyu and his lackeys obediently wrote out the IOUs. After they left, Douluo Qinshin found Ye Feng and told him to be ready. After the opening ceremony tomorrow, they'd be heading to the hunting soul forest to hunt for soul beasts. That night, Ye Feng went looking for Xiao Wu, but she wasn't in Qisha. He found her walking in with Tang San. Okay, Xiao Wu, it's a deal. I'll head in, Tang San said. Okay, Xiao Wu nodded, then turned to Ye Feng and asked, so, what did you want? Xiao Wu, I need to talk to you about something. I need to leave the academy tomorrow, and I was hoping you could cover my work-study duties for the next few days. When I get back, I'll do all your work for the rest of the semester. And you still get half the wages, Ye Feng explained. You're leaving the academy too? Xiao Wu asked, surprised. *2*. Ye Feng frowned. Tang San must have already asked Xiao Wu. So Tang San was leaving Notting College tomorrow to hunt for soul beasts with his teacher. This time, Tang San would get a 100-year spirit ring from the mandala snake. Yeah. Is that okay? Ye Feng asked. Nope. I already promised Tang San I'd cover his work. And he said he'd do all my work for the rest of the semester when he gets back, Xiao Wu replied. Alright. Then I'll do all your work for the next semester when I get back. How's that sound? Ye Feng countered. Okay. Xiao Wu agreed instantly, smiling. Free labor. She'd take it. Great. And here you go, Ye Feng said, pulling out the IOU from Xiao Qinyu. You're giving this to me? Xiao Wu's ears perked up, and she looked at Ye Feng in disbelief. She hadn't been around humans long, but she knew that money was essential to get by. And Ye Feng was giving her an IOU for 500 gold soul coins. Yep. It's in your name. It was meant for you, Ye Feng smiled. Then. I guess I'll reluctantly accept it, Xiao Wu said, grinning as she happily took the IOU from Ye Feng. Alright, it's getting late. Let's head back, Ye Feng said. But. I still want to spar with you again, Xiao Wu said seriously. Spar again? Ye Feng looked surprised. Xiao Wu had just been with Tang San. Had they sparred like in the story? Yeah. Can we? Xiao Wu asked. Sure, Ye Feng agreed with a smile. Xiao Wu moved closer to Ye Feng with light steps, until they were so close that he could feel her breath on his face. What are you doing? I thought we were going to spar. Ye Feng asked. Xiao Wu giggled and leaned even closer, her lips near Ye Feng's ear. The warm breath tickled his ear, sending a shiver down his spine. Aren't I already? As she finished speaking, her long scorpion braid suddenly wrapped around Ye Feng's neck. Ye Feng pushed off the ground with his toes and jumped into the air. When Xiao Wu threw him, he landed smoothly, spinning halfway around to dissipate the force. To have a proper spar with Xiao Wu, Ye Feng decided not to use brute force. Instead, he used his hell eyes to toy with her for a while. End of this chapter. Chapter 16 Crisis, Xiao Wu #039, S identity as a soul beast is exposed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 16, Crisis, Xiao Wu's soul beast secret, early morning at Notting College. While most students and teachers were still asleep, Ye Feng was already following Soar Douluo Chen. They soared northeast on Chen 7 soared towards the Hunting Soul Forest, 400 miles away. This forest was essentially an empire-run soul beast farm. The creatures here were relatively young, so there wouldn't be anything over 10,000 years old. Perfect, because Ye Feng only needed his first 3 soul rings, so he was guaranteed to find something suitable. The Hunting Soul Forest was huge, sprawling across a vast area. It served the needs of several Soul Master academies in the Barak Kingdom and the Heaven Do Empire. Even some of the more prestigious academies came here. After all, you never knew what you might find. Maybe a super strong soul beast would cross your path. To train Ye Feng, Chen made him stand in front, letting him experience the thrill of flying on a sword. He even flew close to the trees and ground to amp up the excitement. The scenery blurred behind him, creating an exhilarating feeling that made Ye Feng want to shout out in joy. That 400-mile trip would have taken 2 days by carriage. But with a tidal Douluo using his soul power, it took only 10 minutes. About 15 minutes later, Chen guided the sword down to the ground. The area buzzed with activity, like a small marketplace. Forming a group to hunt soul beasts. Warrant required. Need someone for power-type beasts, 1 spot left. Hunting a 100-year agility type. Looking for an agility soul master, 30 gold soul coins reward. Names Lu Luden, Steel Cannon Martial Soul. Level 31 Assault Soul Master. Don't let these short legs fool ya, I'm quick. 10 gold coins a day, pay up front. Some soul masters were looking for team members, others were trying to join teams. Besides the soul masters, there were merchants hawking their wares, at double the price of Notting City. Ye Feng, with his master, didn't need to join a group. Chen led him toward the steel fence surrounding the forest. It was 10 meters high and guarded by heavily armed imperial soldiers. To enter the hunting soul forest, you need a warrant from the spirit hall. Without one, or a strong background, you'll face serious consequences if the spirit hall's law enforcement catches you, Chen Xin said, flicking a token toward the guard captain. The captain stared at the warrant, astonished. He approached Chen Xin, handing it back respectfully with both hands. Your Majesty. Chen Xin took the warrant and led Ye Feng into the hunting soul forest. Ye Feng, you don't have a soul ring yet. From now on, stay within 10 meters of me, understand? Chen Xin said sternly. Yes, Master, Ye Feng replied. Chen Xin began to explain the basics. 10-year soul rings are white, 100-year are yellow, 1,000-year are purple, 10,000-year are black, and 100,000-year are red. The legendary million-year rings are a brilliant gold with a sacred aura. Ye Feng realized his master's knowledge of martial souls, soul beasts, and soul rings rivaled that of Yu Xiaojiang, the master. Ye Feng, what's the deal with that kid Tang San you were with yesterday? Chen Xin asked suddenly. He'd noticed Tang San when he found Ye Feng the day before. Master, what's wrong? Ye Feng asked, curious. I sensed the clear sky hammer's aura on him, Chen Xin replied. Clear sky hammer? No way. Ye Feng pretended to be surprised, testing Chen Xin. His martial soul is blue-silver grass, a trash soul. So, he has twin martial souls. Chen Xin stopped, glancing at Ye Feng. But, his apprentice had 3 souls. Master, how can you be sure he has the clear sky hammer? Ye Feng inquired. I'm certain, Chen Xin said, pausing before resuming walking. Martial souls and soul masters are closely linked. At a certain strength, you can identify a soul master's martial soul even without them using their soul power. I've sparred with clear sky hammer users before, so I know its unique signature. Oh, Ye Feng replied casually. Ye Feng, I suggest you don't get too close to that little rabbit-eared girl, Chen Xin then said, changing the subject to Xiao Wu. Ye Feng was taken aback. He remembered his master was a title Douluo. Transformed soul beasts don't fully resemble humans until their soul power reaches level 60. Ordinary soul masters couldn't identify transformed soul beasts, but Contras and title Douluos could sense their aura. Chen Xin had met not just Tang San, but also Xiao Wu. Now, Ye Feng knew his master had seen through Xiao Wu's soul beast identity. Why? Ye Feng asked, feigning ignorance. Because, she's 100,000-year soul beast. Chen Xin stopped, turning to Ye Feng. No way. Ye Feng pretended to be shocked. I'm sure. She might fool you, but not me. I didn't expect you to get so lucky as to meet a transformed soul beast. When your soul power reaches level 80, we'll kill her so you can get her soul ring and bone. Chen Xin looked at Ye Feng with envy. Even as a title Douluo, Chen Xin didn't have 100,000-year soul ring. He knew what it would mean for Ye Feng. If Ye Feng's 8th soul ring was from a 100,000-year beast, his combat power would skyrocket. He'd be able to fight even title Douluos as a contra. Chapter 17 Ye Feng #039, S First Soul Skill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 17, Ye Feng's First Soul Skill. Kill her. Ye Feng asked Jian Daochen, surprised. Are you developing feelings for her? Jian Daochen asked with a smile. Master, Xiao Wu isn't evil. Can't you spare her? Ye Feng pleaded, frowning. You're getting sentimental about a soul beast. Jian Daochen looked at Ye Feng, a hint of disapproval in his eyes. Master, Xiao Wu is truly trustworthy. Besides, she's got plenty of soul power. Letting her grow stronger would be a huge benefit. She'd be a powerful ally, Ye Feng argued, trying to persuade Jian Daochen. Are you sure about this? Even I don't have a 10,000-year soul ring. They're rare for us soul masters. Jian Daochen asked, his tone serious. If I had to choose between her soul ring and her friendship, I'd choose being her friend without a second thought, Ye Feng said firmly, meeting Jian Daochen's gaze. All right. Jian Daochen reached out and gently patted Ye Feng's shoulder, finally agreeing to let Xiao Wu and Ye Feng be friends. This time, Jian Daochen planned to find Ye Feng's first 3 soul rings all at once. The absorption limit for the first soul ring was 423 years, the second was 758 years, and the third was 760 years. A wolf howl echoed from the bushes. Not just 1 or 2, but a whole pack. The color of their soul power was white. Those are nether wolves, and they only live for about 10 years. As he spoke, Jian Daochen unleashed his soul power. The surging energy erupted from his body, scattering the ghost wolves in fear. Animals have instincts. Weak soul beasts fear strong ones, and they fear powerful humans too. It's not easy for soul beasts to grow. The fastest is 10 years, the longest, 10,000. And soul masters need an average of 5 soul rings. If this continues, we'll run out of rings. Spare the weak ones if you can. Jian Daochen lectured as he and Ye Feng set out to find a suitable soul beast. Master, a leopard's over there. Too weak. Only 10 years. Master, there's a tiger that looks like it's on fire. That's a raging flame tiger. It's good for offensive soul masters. Even though it's 300 years old, it's still not right for you. The martial soul you're adding a ring to this time is the 9-heart mysterious pagoda. It would only be good enough if you were adding a ring to the sword. The flame tiger was a century-old soul beast. Though it was the king of beasts, in Jian Daochen's eyes, it was still just barely enough. I've already got a plan for what kind of soul beasts you need for your sword-shaped martial soul. Those soul beasts are rare, and Fengji has people searching for them already. Before that, we'll add soul rings to your 9-heart mysterious pagoda. Once you have 3 rings attached to your first martial soul, you can continue to grow without being held back by the top of the cultivation bottle. Jian Daochen explained. Okay, Master, Ye Feng replied. Jian Daochen lived and breathed swords. As a titled Douluo, Ye Feng trusted him completely to guide his sword-shaped martial soul. Master, what about that orangutan? Ye Feng asked, pointing to an orangutan drinking water by the river. The orangutan squatted on the riverbank, cautiously drinking water from its palm, constantly looking around. When Ye Feng pointed at it, the orangutan froze, noticing Ye Feng and Jian Daochen. It was covered in blood-red hair, like any other orangutan. When it stood up, it was nearly 4 meters tall. A strange pattern marked its brow. 3 simple strokes. The orangutan saw Ye Feng and Jian Daochen and pounded its chest in a threatening display. That's a raging gorilla. Jian Daochen observed it. Each time a raging gorilla reaches 100 years, the red line between its brows grows. This one has 3 red lines, and a 4th is starting to form. It's almost 400 years old. It's perfect for your 9-heart mysterious pagoda's first soul ring. Master, isn't it an assault-type soul beast? Ye Feng asked, puzzled. Jian Daochen himself had suggested that, because Ye Feng also possessed the Xianyuan sword, his 9-heart mysterious pagoda should focus on support and control. The raging gorilla, as an assault type, didn't seem to fit. The raging gorilla has a trace of ancient blood within. This blood gives it the ability to unleash its power and improve its combat ability for a short time. This will benefit your future growth, Jian Daochen said, explaining his reasoning. Okay, then, let's go with that one, Ye Feng agreed. Jian Daochen moved forward, approaching the raging gorilla step by step. Roar. The raging gorilla roared in protest, but Jian Daochen ignored it. Jian Daochen's fist smashed into the raging gorilla, sending it flying 10 meters. Even without the 7-kill sword, Jian Daochen, as a titled Douluo, was a formidable fighter. Jian Daochen's fists rained down, giving the gorilla no chance to retaliate. Roar. After taking a dozen punches, the raging gorilla flew into a rage. The red rune between its brows glowed, and the red hair on its body shimmered with a red light, as if it was surrounded by a red aura. After unleashing its power, the raging gorilla's speed and strength noticeably increased. But it was facing a tidal Douluo. Jian Daochen still crushed it effortlessly. About 10 minutes later, Jian Daochen sent the raging gorilla flying with a final punch, landing it precisely 1 meter in front of Ye Feng. Soul Masters absorb soul rings best when two conditions are met. First, the Soul Master personally kills the Soul Beast, giving the Soul Beast a strong grudge. Second, the Soul Beast should be tyrannical and unwilling to surrender. It must fight to the death. Jian Daochen took a dagger from his storage soul tool and tossed it to Ye Feng, ordering, "Let's start. Use this dagger to end its life, then form seals with both hands like this, and claim its soul ring." Chapter 18. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Alright, Master," Ye Feng said. He picked up a dagger and walked over to the raging gorilla, hesitating for a moment. He was about to kill a soul beast, one that looked almost human. Ye Feng stalled, but Jian Daochen didn't push him. Everyone has to start somewhere. After a few seconds, Ye Feng quickly slashed the gorilla's neck with the dagger. Roar. A wretched cry escaped the gorilla's throat, and blood splattered onto Ye Feng's clothes. The gorilla clutched at its throat, and after struggling for a few seconds, it went still. Ye Feng copied Jian Daochen's hand gestures, forming seals with both hands. Faint specks of light floated from the gorilla's corpse, creating a halo above it. "Sit down and absorb it. I'll protect you, so you won't be disturbed," Jian Daochen instructed. "Okay." Ye Feng responded and sat cross-legged. The halo flew above his head, then rapidly shrunk to the size of a bracelet and settled onto the 9-heart mysterious Tang spirit in Ye Feng's palm. Ye Feng felt like his hand had been plunged into hot water, a wave of scorching energy flooding his body, making him tremble. "Let it rage. Let the energy in, and guard your mind," Jian Daochen's voice guided him. Ye Feng followed Jian Daochen's instructions, letting the scorching energy pour into his meridians and organs, keeping his mind focused. He lost track of time, but when everything calmed down, Ye Feng saw a red line on each petal of his 9-heart mysterious Tang. The stamen in the center of the flower had also turned red. It worked. Ye Feng was elated. He hadn't expected absorbing a soul ring to feel so good. No wonder everyone wanted to become a soul master, and soul masters wanted to obtain more soul rings. It was a feeling that had to be experienced to be understood. "What about soul skills? What's your first one?" Jian Daochen asked curiously. Ye Feng focused, and the yellow soul ring around him glowed. At the same time, the red lines on the 9-heart mysterious Tang spirit in his hand, especially the one on the stamen that had turned red, shone brightly. Instantly, a red light enveloped Jian Daochen. Jian Daochen opened his eyes and calmly muttered, "Blood flow increased by 30%, speed and strength too." "That's right." Ye Feng nodded, grinning. 9-heart mysterious Tang's first soul skill. "I call it Beast Blood Boil. It's a scaling ability. Every time my soul power goes up a level, speed and strength increase by 30%. Right now, my soul power is at level 40, so the boost is at 120%. The range is fixed at 10 meters around me. 1% increase per soul power level. If it weren't limited in scope, that support ability would rival Rongrong's first and second soul skills," Jian Daochen said, a rare smile touching his lips, as he patted Ye Feng's shoulder. "For a soul master with the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda spirit, the effect of assistance increases by 10% every 10 soul power levels." Ye Feng's ability wasn't inferior, and if it weren't for the range limitation, it might even be better. Then again, the 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda's assistance is one way, while Ye Feng's is area of effect. "Master, what kind of soul beast do you think would be best for my second spirit?" Ye Feng asked. "Control type." Jian Daochen replied. "Is that even possible?" Ye Feng asked, surprised. "Of course. Support can be divided into 3 types. One is buff type support, enhancing teammates' abilities. The second is debuff type, weakening opponents. And the third is control type, controlling opponents to allow teammates to attack. It all comes down to helping teammates attack the enemy, Jian Daochen replied. But aren't soul masters divided into auxiliary and control types? Ye Feng asked. Don't take everything at face value. Auxiliary and control already overlap. Besides, you have the Xianyuan sword, an offensive spirit. If you can control the opponent, it's the same as hitting a sitting duck, Jian Daochen patiently answered, determined to mold Ye Feng into a soul master with unprecedented potential. The soul hunting forest was vast, filled with soul beasts. But few met Jian Daochen's standards. They'd encountered several control-type soul beasts along the way, with suitable ages, but none had met Jian Daochen's requirements. Daochen Xian murmured. What is it, master? Ye Feng asked, driven by curiosity. Ye Feng activated the Eye of Hell, his third spirit, enhancing his vision. He looked in Jian Daochen's direction and saw a snow-white giant eagle flying toward them. The eagle weaved through the trees, its soul power a yellow glow, indicating a lifespan of 100 years. Its feathers were as beautiful as ice crystals, leaving a trail of snowflakes behind it. Snow Eagle. Jian Daochen blurted out, looking at the giant eagle with a smile. This is your second soul ring. Bang, bang, bang. Jian Daochen flew with his sword. As a titled Douluo, he could kill the snow eagle in seconds. Another one-sided battle. Soon, the snow eagle was defeated and grabbed by Jian Daochen, who threw it at Ye Feng's feet. Snow eagles are rumored to have the blood of an ice phoenix. This one's 700 years old, perfect for your second soul ring, Jian Daochen said. Master, it's an ice-type soul beast. Ye Feng pointed out. Yes, it is. But your nine-heart mysterious Tang is a mutated spirit. Your soul power, like Fengji's, is attributeless. Its biggest advantage is that it doesn't reject soul rings of any attribute. You can totally absorb an ice attribute soul beast's ring, Jian Daochen explained, referencing records he'd read in an ancient text. Oh, Ye Feng responded. Start absorbing its soul ring. I'll protect you, Jian Daochen urged. Alright, master, Ye Feng nodded. Ye Feng pulled out the dagger from his storage soul tool and crouched down to end the snow eagle's life when a hoarse voice shouted from ahead. Stop. Chapter 19. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Two figures burst forth from the direction Snow Eagle had flown. They were an older man and a young woman. The man looked to be in his 60s or 70s, with short white hair and a goatee. He was dressed in fine brocade clothes and looked quite spry, with skin as rosy as a baby's. His blue eyes were fixed on the Snow Eagle beneath Ye Feng. Beside him stood a beautiful young woman, her developing figure accentuated by a well-fitted dress. Her long, water-blue hair cascaded down her back, framing a fair face with delicate features. She wasn't strikingly beautiful at first glance, but closer inspection revealed a subtle, captivating charm. Her blue eyes, too, were locked on the Snow Eagle. What's the problem? Jian Daochen's voice was level, but sharp enough to cut through steel. My name is Shui Ruhan, the old man announced, as 7 soul rings materialized beneath his feet, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 3 black. He was clearly a soul saint. An ice phoenix, formed from condensed frost, appeared behind him, revealing that he possessed the rare ice phoenix spirit. Jian Daochen remained silent, his gaze steady and unwavering. Sir, you can't let this child take this spirit beast's soul ring, Shui Ruhan insisted. Why not? Jian Daochen asked plainly. Because we found it first, the old man replied. You found it first? Ye Feng looked surprised, remembering his earlier encounter. But this was different. Instead of Meng Yiran and Chao Tianxiang, he was facing an old gentleman named Shui Ruhan, Ice Phoenix. A chill ran down Ye Feng's spine as he recognized the man's powerful spirit. He glanced at the girl, guessing they must be from Tianshui Academy and that she was Shui Binger, the prodigy who nearly drove Tang San to reconsider his clear sky hammer training. Ye Feng hesitated, then asked, "How can you prove you found the spirit beast first?" "That's easy, young man," Shui Rohan replied with a smile. "Just check the snow eagle's belly. You'll find some old scars from my soul skills. If this snow eagle wasn't so cautious, Binger would have claimed its soul ring already." Ye Feng reached out, grabbed the snow eagle's wing, and exposed its underside. Sure enough, there were several scars, still bleeding. Jian Daochen hadn't used his 7-killing sword, so they must have been inflicted by the old man. In that case, Ye Feng countered, "My master intercepted this spirit beast and wounded it severely." "You make a fair point, young man," Shui Rohan conceded, studying Ye Feng with admiration. "Without you, this snow eagle might have escaped. Let me ask you, has your soul power reached level 30 yet?" "Probably," Ye Feng replied casually. "I thought so." Shui Rohan stroked his beard, impressed that Ye Feng had reached level 30 at such a young age. He continued, "I'm a reasonable man. We found the snow eagle, but you intercepted and wounded it. Spirit beasts belong to whoever claims them. Without us, you wouldn't have found the snow eagle. Without you, it might have escaped us. How about this, let you and my granddaughter compete. The winner gets the soul beast. Deal?" "This." Ye Feng hesitated. Knowing the story of Douluo continent, he knew Shui Binger was incredibly talented and her first soul skill was frozen. Ye Feng, on the other hand, had only one support skill, beast boiling, and the fusion of human and sword was not yet mastered. He figured his odds of winning were only 50%. "Are you sure you want to do this?" Jian Daochen's voice cut through the air as he spoke. 9 soul rings appeared beneath his feet. 9 soul rings meant Jian Daochen was a titled Douluo, with 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black rings. He was a titled Douluo with a standard soul ring configuration. 7-killing sword. Shui Rohan's face went blank. He was stunned. "Are you Jian Daochen Xin?" He managed to stammer. "Get lost." Jian Daochen commanded, his voice filled with power. Shui Rohan stared, utterly cowed by the other man's overwhelming soul power. He showed no sign of resentment at Jian Daochen's harsh words. Instead, Shui Rohan bowed respectfully. "My apologies," he said. His manners were impeccable. He bowed to Jian Daochen, then gestured to his granddaughter, Shui Binger, and prepared to leave. "Wait," Ye Feng called out. Shui Rohan and Shui Binger both turned. Ye Feng focused on Shui Binger. Jian Daochen had treated Shui Rohan with such arrogance. As Shui Rohan's granddaughter, Shui Binger was about to be robbed of the soul beast, but she was able to look at Ye Feng calmly. He couldn't help but admire her. At such a young age, she was already able to control her emotions. She was extraordinary. That was Ye Feng's first impression of her. With that kind of character, she was destined for great things. After speaking, not only Shui Binger and Shui Rohan but also Jian Daochen looked at Ye Feng in surprise. They had no idea why Ye Feng would say that after obtaining Shuang. "I agree to your request," Ye Feng said, his tone serious. "Are you sure?" Shui Binger asked. Still young, Shui Rohan glanced at Ye Feng, his eyes eventually settling on Jian Daochen. He only feared Jian Daochen. "I'm sure," Ye Feng replied. "Sir, is this really okay?" Shui Rohan asked Jian Daochen. Since Ye Feng agreed, let them compete, Jian Daochen replied without hesitation. He was curious to see how Ye Feng would defeat Shui Binger without attacking soul skills. Could he use the unity of man and sword? Jian Daochen thought to himself that the only way Ye Feng could defeat Shui Binger was by using the fusion technique he had taught him. Chapter 20 Ye Feng #039, S First Soul Skill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 20, Ye Feng's Second Soul Skill. Jian Daochen was curious to see if Ye Feng had grasped the unity of sword and self. He knew it was a long shot. Mastery in 3 months was nearly impossible. Still, Jian Daochen held a sliver of hope. Shui Binger, Ice Phoenix Martial Soul, a level 20 control-type soul master with 1 soul ring. I'm ready. Shui Binger announced, a yellow soul ring glowing around her. Icy power coalesced behind her into an ice phoenix. Snowflakes danced around it, chilling the air. Ye Feng, 9-heart Xiantang Martial Soul, a level 30 control-type soul master with 1 soul ring. I'm ready. Ye Feng responded, summoning a yellow soul ring. A jade crabapple flower appeared in his right palm. So, you're at what level? Shui Binger asked, her expression serious. Level 30, 1 ring, Ye Feng replied. What? Level 30 with 1 ring? Shui Binger exclaimed, shocked. Kid, you were born with level 30 soul power. Shui Binger's grandfather, Shui Ruhan, stared at Ye Feng in disbelief. Yes, Ye Feng confirmed the numbers didn't lie. Ye Feng's single soul ring couldn't account for that power level. He had to have been born with a full level 30, usually, the first soul ring grants a bonus to a soul master's power. But Ye Feng was already maxed out. He wouldn't be able to break through until he gained his 3rd ring. 9-heart Xiantang, Shui Ruhan murmured to himself as Dean of Tianshui Academy. Shui Ruhan knew every martial soul out there. He'd heard of 9-heart Begonia, but never 9-heart Xiantang. He paused, then murmured, could it be a mutated 9-heart Begonia? He is a Yi, after all. First soul skill, frozen. Shui Binger willed it, and Ye Feng was instantly encased in dark ice. Game over. Shui Binger smirked. Frozen solid, Ye Feng was a sitting duck. The fight was over, but a surge of soul power pulsed within the ice, and a yellow light shimmered beneath Ye Feng's feet. His blood flowed 30% faster. His speed and strength increased by the same amount. A muffled crack echoed as the dark ice shattered, crack spiderwebbing across its surface. He broke free. Shui Binger was stunned. She instantly recast her first soul skill, trapping Ye Feng in ice once more. The moment the dark ice closed around him, Ye Feng shot forward. A series of sonic booms echoed through the air. He moved so fast, Shui Binger couldn't react before he was standing right in front of her, his fist a mere inch from her nose. You lost. Ye Feng declared. Are you really a control-type soul master? Shui Binger asked, bewildered. Ye Feng claimed to be a control type, yet his speed rivaled that of an agility-based attacker. She couldn't help but be suspicious. I am, Ye Feng replied. Then why are you so fast? Shui Binger pressed. It must be my mutated martial soul, Ye Feng said, scratching his head, avoiding eye contact. The real reason was his system and the bonus it gave him. 40 extra agility points made him as fast as a soul master more than 10 levels above him. Mutated martial soul. 9-heart Xiantang. Shui Binger repeated to herself, determined to never forget Ye Feng's martial soul. This was the first time she'd been defeated by someone her age. Mutated martial soul. As expected of Sword Douluo student, Shui Ruhan said, stroking his beard, admiring Ye Feng. He patted Shui Binger's head. Binger, you lost. The Snow Eagle's soul ring belongs to him. We should go. Grandpa will help you find another spirit beast. Okay, Shui Binger nodded. She followed Shui Ruhan, glancing back at Ye Feng. Her blue eyes held a newfound kindness. She clearly had a favorable impression. Ye Feng noticed the look. His efforts had paid off. He hadn't made a bad impression. You got your eye on that girl? Jian Daochen asked, amused. Huh? Ye Feng stammered, surprised. Ye Feng, you're still young. Wait until you're at the Advanced Soul Master Academy before you start thinking about girlfriends, Jian Daochen advised sternly. Master, it's not like that, Ye Feng said, dumbfounded. He was only 6. How could he be thinking about romance? Really? Jian Daochen asked, concerned. Yes, Ye Feng nodded firmly. Good, good. Now, end the Snow Eagle's life and get its soul ring. Jian Daochen ordered. Yes, Ye Feng replied. He took out a dagger and swiftly ended the Snow Eagle's life. Forming hand seals, ice-colored light motes rose from the Snow Eagle's body, swirling into a halo above it. Guided by Ye Feng's will, the halo was absorbed into the 9-heart Xiantang in his hand. When Ye Feng opened his eyes, Jian Daochen eagerly asked, "What's your second soul skill?" Frozen. Ye Feng replied. As he spoke, he activated the skill. A tree, easily big enough for one person to hug, was instantly coated in 30 centimeters of dark ice. My soul power is currently level 30. The dark ice is 30 centimeters thick. Each time my soul master level increases, the thickness of the ice will increase by 10 centimeters, Ye Feng explained. His soul power remained at level 30 even after gaining the second ring. Not bad at all. Chen Xian was pleased with Ye Feng's new skills. As a descendant of the 3 earth sects, he had read many ancient texts. He knew that high-level spirit beasts could grant more powerful soul skills. The type of spirit beast influenced the strength of the ring. Of course, the soul master's skill and flexible application of the skill also mattered. Master, could you beat poison Douluo? Ye Feng suddenly asked during the search for a spirit beast. Pts. Feel free to guess what the protagonist Ye Feng wants to do and why he's asking Jian Daochen so much. End of this chapter.